Ladies and gents, I realized something embarrassing. I'm looking to purchase my first commuter bicycle and I couldn't even name half the parts. So I'm deciding to learn them. And as I do learn them, I'm planning to share them with you. If you're new to cycling, all those strange bicycle part names can feel overwhelming. Cassette, Derailleur, Crankset. It almost sounds like another language, right? But here's the good news. You only need to know a handful of parts to become a more confident rider. In today's video, I'm going to walk through the 10 essential bicycle parts every beginner should know. By the end of this video, you'll understand how your bike works, communicate better with bike shops, and feel much more confident every time you ride. Let's jump in. Welcome to PedalNomics. The frame. Think of the frame as the skeleton of the bicycle. Every other component attaches to it. Gravel bikes, mountain bikes, and road bikes all have different frame designs, but they all perform the same basic job. A strong frame gives stability, comfort, and handling. When people talk about a bike being comfortable or responsive, a lot of that starts with the frame. Different frame materials and shapes change how the bike feels. But for the beginners, the most important thing is choosing a frame that fits your body properly. Fork. Next, let's move to the front of the bike. The fork holds the front wheel and helps control steering. On many gravel bikes, carbon forks help absorb road vibration, making longer rides more comfortable. Some bikes use suspension forks, especially mountain bikes, while many commuter, gravel, and road bikes use rigid forks. Neither is automatically better. It simply depends on where you ride. Handlebars. Just above the fork are the handlebars. Your handlebars control steering. They're also one of the 3 contact points between you and your bicycle. On gravel bikes, these curved handlebars give you multiple hand positions for comfort on long rides. Handlebars also affect your riding position. Wider bars give more control, while narrower bars can feel faster and more aerodynamic. Finding a comfortable hand position can make surprisingly long rides feel much easier. Brake levers. Mounted on the handlebars are the brake levers. Brake levers do exactly what you'd expect. They slow you down. Most modern bikes use disc brakes because they provide reliable stopping power in both dry and wet conditions. A good habit is to practice braking in an empty parking lot. Learning how your brakes feel before you're in traffic can make emergency stops much less stressful. Learning to brake smoothly is one of the fastest ways to become a more confident cyclist. Wheels and tires. Now, let's look at the wheels and tires. Your wheels keep you rolling. Your tires provide grip. Tire pressure makes a huge difference in comfort and speed. Too much pressure can feel harsh. Too little pressure can make riding difficult. Your tires are the only part of your bike that actually touches the ground. Wider tires usually offer more comfort and grip, while narrower tires can roll a little faster on smooth pavement. Checking your tire pressure takes less than a minute, but it can completely change how your bike feels. Saddle. Moving back toward the center of the bike, we come to the saddle. The saddle supports your body while riding. Contrary to popular belief, more padding doesn't always mean more comfort. Many new cyclists assume soreness means they need a softer saddle, but often the real solution is adjusting the saddle height or angle. Even small changes can make a big difference. Proper saddle height and position are much more important. Pedals and crankset. Below the saddle are the pedals and crankset. Every time you push the pedals, you're turning the crankset. This creates the power that moves your bicycle. Think of your crankset as your bicycle's engine. Some bikes use flat pedals, while others use clipless pedals that actually lock your shoes to the bike. Despite the confusing name, clipless pedals are something many riders switch to later as they gain experience. The chain. That power is transferred by the chain. The chain transfers power from your legs to the rear wheel. A clean, lubricated chain shifts better and lasts much longer. It's one of the easiest maintenance jobs every cyclist should learn. A neglected chain doesn't just shift poorly. It also wears out the cassette and chain rings faster, which can become an expensive repair. A few minutes of cleaning and lubrication every so often can save money in the long run. Cassette. At the rear wheel, you'll find the cassette. This was one of those parts I've heard many people mention for years, but I never actually knew what it did. The cassette is the group of gears attached to the rear wheel. Different gear sizes make climbing hills easier or riding faster on flat roads. Understanding your cassette is the first step towards shifting efficiently. A simple rule to remember is this: larger gears make pedaling easier but slower, while smaller gears make pedaling harder but faster. Don't be afraid to shift often. Your gears are there to be used. Rear derailleur. Right beside the cassette is the rear derailleur. The rear derailleur moves the chain between those gears. Every click of your shifter tells the derailleur to move the chain. If your bike ever starts skipping gears or shifting poorly, the derailleur is often the first place a bike mechanic will check. Thankfully, small adjustments can usually solve the problem. It may look complicated, but its job is actually very simple. How it all works together. Here's the big picture. You push the pedals, the crankset turns. The chain transfers that power. The cassette determines how hard you're working. The derailleur moves the chain between those gears. The wheel turns, and off you go. Once you understand that simple chain of events, your bicycle suddenly feels a lot less mysterious. And there you have it. Those are the 10 bicycle parts every beginner should know. Don't worry if you don't remember all these names today. Every experienced cyclist didn't learn them overnight. Just learning these basics will make every ride a little more enjoyable and a lot less intimidating. Just a few minutes ago, words like cassette and derailleur probably sounded unfamiliar. Now, you know where every one of these essential parts are located and what it does. If you found this helpful, consider subscribing to PedalNomics. Here, we explore how riding more, spending less, and living simply can lead to a richer life. The more you understand your bicycle, the less intimidating ownership becomes. You don't have to become a mechanic. You just need to know enough to ride confidently, make smarter buy-in decisions, and avoid unnecessary repair costs. That's what PedalNomics is all about. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.